Developing now, stolen valor accusations continue to intensify on Capitol Hill and beyond. Among the recent high-profile cases, Congresswoman Nancy Mace squaring off with fellow Representative Cory Mills, the South Carolina Republican, even calling for his expulsion from the House. Let's go to the National News Desk, Jeff Harris. And Jeff, we know that Mace and Mills, they're just one example of a growing list of lawmakers involved in similar allegations. Tell us more.
So stolen valor happens when a person misrepresents their military background, usually for financial gain, attention, or even status. Over the last few years, accusations, they've gone up, not just from lawmakers directly on Capitol Hill, but also from governors fighting for re-election and even those eyeing the White House. In an explosive moment on Capitol Hill, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace calling stolen valor on Florida Representative Cory Mills, entering several documents into the record to support her claims.
The first of which is a statement from Cory Mills, First Sergeant, stating his forms and accounts of his military service are falsified. The second document is a picture of Cory Mills wearing a Bronze Star from 2019 before he ever got a Bronze Star.
But Mills pushing back, not only accusing Mace of slander and defamation, but also entering his own Army records, which he says verifies all of his awards.
My DD-214 published in 2003 indicating my Bronze Star and other wartime medals and decorations.
The term stolen valor refers to falsely claiming military honors or wearing unearned medals, which under certain circumstances can be a crime under the Stolen Valor Act. Distinguished Professor Emeritus at Towson University, Dr. Richard Vatz, telling the National News Desk, when it comes to politicians seeking elected office, significant accomplishments in the process of war can oftentimes boost profiles.
If you can convince people that you showed great bravery in battle or deserve the valor that you've gotten, that's a tremendous push toward your winning an election.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz also facing accusations in 2024 after being picked by Kamala Harris to be her running mate for the White House. At the center of the claims, this video from 2018 where Walz can be heard saying he carried weapons in war, despite never seeing active combat, a statement the campaign later walked back.
We were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar's not always correct.
Meanwhile, in Maryland, questions about Governor Wes Moore's military record are picking up steam. In 2022, our affiliate Fox 45 in Baltimore highlighting discrepancies in Moore's military record, specifically involving a Bronze Star medal he listed on a 2006 White House fellowship application that was not included in his official military file. At that time, Governor Moore brushing off the report, calling it a, quote, smear campaign. But 2 years later, the New York Times obtaining a copy which reads in part, quote, for my work, the 82nd Airborne Division have awarded me the Bronze Star Medal. Moore changing his characterization of the issue, calling the Bronze Star claim a, quote, honest mistake. Moore was formally awarded the Bronze Star in December 2024. Spotlight on Maryland's investigative team also uncovering gaps and delays in Moore's military record. Despite being pushed to release all of his military and academic files, Moore has refused, a choice his Republican challengers for the governor's office are acting on, recently offering to share their own records to highlight his lack of disclosure.
It's clear that if you have nothing to hide, why would you not release the records? And I know you and the rest of the press has been asking him for the past 3.5 years for his records, and he's refused to release them.
But even with the Bronze Star controversy, Vatz believes Moore's bid for a second term likely isn't in jeopardy. However, that might not be the case nationally.
I think you can get away with this stuff if you're in the right state, if you have the right personal characteristics, but you cannot get away with this nationwide to a ride to the presidency.
Now, President Trump has joined the list of critics accusing Moore of stolen valor, specifically allowing the misconception to stand for well over a decade. But Moore has dismissed those attacks as political maneuvering as he eyes a second term. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.